Hare Krishna. The mind is not too strong for us to resist. The mind is too weak to resist the world. See the mind in the proper way. That's what we need to do when we are to live in this world. Sometimes we may think the mind is so strong. The mind says, do this, do this. It starts goading me so forcefully that I can't just can't resist it. I'm just pulled towards doing this, doing that, doing that, doing that. And in this way, I get into unnecessary, I get into trouble, but I can't stop myself from getting into trouble. What should I do? This may be a predicament, but we need to change our way of looking at the mind. Now, if we think that the mind is too strong to resist, then we'll become powerless. We may say that, no, I have to take shelter of Krishna, then I'll be able to control the mind. But then, ultimately, even when we have to think about Krishna, we need some level of control of the mind to think about Krishna, to serve Krishna. So if we think of the mind as too strong to resist, then we will not be able to connect with Krishna also. So we have to change the way we look at the mind. Rather than thinking that the mind is too strong for us to resist, we should see that the mind is too weak to resist the world. When the world allures it, the mind is too weak to resist it. And because the mind is weak, we need to be strong in dealing with it. An example to illustrate this, sometimes a child, maybe my mother is taking a child through a supermarket for purchasing something, and the child sees a toy. The child says, "Mummy, I want that toy, I want that toy, I want that toy." And the child may start screaming and crying and doing a tantrum. Now the mother starts thinking, this child is making so much noise. How can I silence this child? I cannot, so let me just get the toy for the child. Now, sometimes it may be okay to indulge the child. But the child starts doing that every time, and the mother starts thinking, oh, this child cries so much. So, whenever the child sees a toy, maybe child sees an advertisement on TV, child sees an advertisement, now the children also have phones, advertisement on phone, something, I want this, I want this. Now, if the mother starts thinking, just because the child is demanding insistently, the mother starts giving, the child will become pampered, the child will become spoiled. And that will be harmful for the child when he or she grows up. Because at that time, life doesn't always say yes to us. We have to learn to accept no in life on many occasions. So now in the mother-child and say toy relationship, rather than the mother thinking that, oh, this child is so demanding, how can I say no? What the mother should see is that actually the child is so weak, the child doesn't understand what I really want, what I really need. That's why whatever the child sees, it starts liking it. He or she starts liking it and starts craving for it. So when now the mother sometimes fulfill the child's desire, sometimes says, no, not now, later. And the mother has to be firm. That is the way the children get disciplined. So what we should see is that not that the mind is too strong. Yes, the same principle we have to apply. Not that the mind is too strong. Yes, the mind is very strong. It is very difficult to resist. But its strength is because of its weakness. That means it is so strong because it is weak in seeing things properly, in understanding what is really important for me. And therefore, it starts getting captivated by anything and everything, just like a child gets captivated by anything and everything. So, just as the mother has to be firm, our intelligence has to become like a mother. And the intelligence has to be firm. So, Krishna talks about this in the Bhagavad-gita in 6.25 when he says, Shanai Shanair Uparamed Buddhya Dhriti Gruhitaya Atma Samstham Manah Kritva Nakinchid Api Chintayet. So he says, Shanai Shanair Uparamed, gradually, step by step. Buddhya Dhriti Gruhitaya, with intelligence sustained by conviction. Atma Samstham Manah Kritva, fix the mind on the self. Nakinchid Api Chintayet. Don't think about anything else. Focus only on Krishna. So focus on the self and focus ultimately on the Supreme Self. So then next verse 6.20 This 6.27 says that 6.26 says yato yato nischalati manaschanchalamastheram tastato niyam yaitad atmanyeva shamnayed. Wherever and whenever the mind wanders, because of its restless nature, flickering nature, chanchalam, tatastato niyam yaitad, bring it under the control of the self. Atmanyeva shamnayed, that fix it on the self. Now here Krishna uses the word chanchala. Chanchala is restless. Now restlessness is a characteristic of the child. So Krishna is telling us we have to use our buddhi to fix the mind. Now of course ultimately the mind becomes purified, focused by bhakti. But we need buddhi to recognize that I should not pander to the mind, I should focus on Krishna. And that buddhi is what our intelligence should be, like a mother. So when we change our disposition, rather than thinking that the mind is too difficult, too strong for me to control, we see that the mind is actually too weak to recognize what it really needs. Just as the mother doesn't do everything that the child is telling, we recognize that I shouldn't be doing everything that my mind is telling me. Rather, I have to be mature like a mother and I have to make healthy choices. Thank you. Hare Krishna.